What's up everybody, it's Jake, and today I'm going to walk you through how I painted my one-page rules 3D printed geckos. These are going to be skink proxies for my Seraphon Army in 3rd edition Age of Sigmar. These models were primed in Stynylrez Light Flesh. And for the first step, we are going to take a dark color, water it down to a wash consistency, and cover the whole model in this wash. You're going to let that dry for 15-20 minutes, a little bit longer if you want the color to stain a little bit more. And we are not going to wipe this away. This is not a pre-glaze like previous videos. This is something different that I'm trying. And if you want to, you can go over the same parts again to really make the cracks and crevices stand out. Now we're going to take cadmium red medium and go over the whole model in this color. And here you can see this one got a really heavy wash, and it was very, very dark, and you can watch the red be influenced by that color, as it's going to be darker than if it was a lighter shade of wash. And here's just a compare and contrast. You can see the bottom one-legged Joe here, is slightly darker. Next, we're going to take turquoise from Gambling and cover up all the scales. You're going to have to do this 2 or 3 times to get the vibrancy of the turquoise, because it's going to have to take a lot of that red up. So take your time and just work these scales until you get the vibrancy you want. There's scales on the shoulders, there's scales on the legs, scales on this back there. You can see down in the corner how much more vibrancy pops out when you go over it multiple times. It's not layering like acrylic paints, but it's taking away more of that red and adding more of the turquoise. Now next we're going to start highlighting the skin. I took straight cadmium yellow light and put it on the raised areas in a dry brush consistency. So I took a lot of the paint and wiped it off on a napkin, as you would with acrylics, and then went over the knees, the chest, the elbows, the upper arms. Any of the raised areas facing the sun, I added yellow. Now if you go too far yellow and you want to bring it back, I took alizarin crimson from, I believe, Winsor & Newton, and just went from the bottom up, or any places that were too yellow, and almost like a glaze over the skin, it kind of brought the red back to earth. And for the scales on the back, I just took straight titanium white and the same dry brush consistency did the back of the scales and the scales on his arm. It's kind of hard, the camera ain't picking it up that much, but it is the white is adding to the turquoise here. Alright, now for the gold, I'm going to cover all of the tassels, the blowpipes, and the rings on the back of their tails in burnt umber to start. Next, I take straight cadmium yellow light and place them on the raised areas where I want the gold to start shining through. So I do a gradient from the top to bottom, the bright colors to darkest colors. This is a flat area, there's not roundness to it, so I don't have to worry about placing light in any specific areas. Just go from top to bottom. Then I'm going to take brilliant yellow pale and do the topmost parts of this tassel and the edges. I want to edge highlight, as you can see here. Then I take straight titanium white and get the extreme edges, like the very tips of the corners, the top corner here, and then the bottom corner, And you're going to blend that in with the brilliant yellow pale, and that's going to give you a tiny extra pop just to make your metallic stand out. And next we're going to go on to the blowpipes. We're going to do the same process over again. And the reason I want to show this is because it really looked good on camera. And you can see how nice the gold comes out. Now, tip for doing rounded like cylinder shapes like this is you're just going to take your highlight color and place it not on an edge, like in the center where you think the sun is reflecting off the shape. So I just voided my brush and now I'm feathering out some of that brilliant yellow pale. And then I'm taking titanium white and just dabbling it in where I want the brightest highlights to be, like in the center of that highlight across this cylinder. Now for the other side, you could repeat the process, just making sure you leave some of that brown in there. Alright, the next major part is the headdresses. We're going to cover the leaves or the feathers in green. This is just a mix of blue and yellow. And then I have a second variation which is more blue than yellow, and it's almost like midnight green. Go birds. To highlight this, I took brilliant yellow pale, and there's a ridge in the center of the leaf, and I did that ridge all the way through. And then I picked out the ends and went about halfway up the feather or leaf or whatever you want to call this piece. You think dinosaurs would put feathers or leaves in their hair? Like, these could be ferns. They don't have to be feathers. And that's the end of this video. If you like this paint job, please like and subscribe to this video. Or if not, I will come to your house and murder you because I have nothing better to do. And I'm still in the midst of the pandemic because I am vaccinated and I don't go back to work until September. So if I don't do anything soon, I'm going to just start fucking murdering people. So anyway, bye, thanks.